Everybody ready?
Get it.
Now introducing the fabulous Swiggavino brothers.
Yeah, it's some delicious stuff.
What's up, y'all? This is the fabulous Swiggavino brothers and Adam. We are coming to you from our social distancing location. It's a special episode tonight. We have from Gaetano's Restaurant. This is the one and only Nick
Palmeri.
What's up, baby? How are you?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
Maintaining the best we can, brother. Talk to me. Tell me how you doing.
Doing pretty good. It's crazy. Working I've always worked six to 7 days a week, but when this whole thing went down the night of St. Patrick's Day, literally the day of St. Patrick's Day, when the governor made the announcement, I literally had to take my whole business and turn it upside down, 360, whatever you want to do or call it. But it was crazy. It was very intense. A lot of sleep. I only slept probably 2-3 hours, 4 hours a night for the first week. But other than that, we're doing really good. Just grinding away, blasting things out on social media, which is helping. And like I said, on social media this past week, we've been here almost 18 years at Gaetano's in Henderson. We had a restaurant in California for over 20 years. So we've been doing it a long time. We know what we're doing. And the biggest thing is we have a loyal customer base that we built over the years.
That's great.
Nice. Frank, you got some questions, brother?
I was wondering, so through that, so how have you seen the community come together in support? Like, what from your point of view, what is the community? How's this affecting the community, and how's it pulling people together?
All right, so there's like, that's like a 3-answer question, right? So the first answer is I'm going to tell everybody about where we're located. That's the first community, right? We're in the Henderson area, where it's very close to the retirement communities. So a lot of those people, they've always been our customer. They've been supporting us. You know, they have fixed income, so they're not really, mostly like pensions or annuities and things like that. And they're not hurting as much as, people like us in the service industry. So they've been coming. There's only so many meals people can cook at home and get sick and tired of. So they want a nice, good Italian meal. Second aspect, as a whole hospitality community in Las Vegas, I'm just surprised how many restaurants are closed, right? And a lot of good restaurants. I don't want to be controversial right now because I don't know what everybody's situation is. But the thing is, my cooks in the back, and my dishwashers and whatnot, they all lost their jobs during the day. So I was the person that they need to rely on to keep open. So I have 80% of my staff working right now, almost close to full time, which is awesome. The biggest thing that I'm surprised is so many restaurants closed. My father grew up in the old country of Sicily, and he was like a hard ass, but he taught me at a young age when I was 10 years old about hard work. And the thing is, it's like, if you got a kitchen and you got food, people like your restaurant, do whatever you need to do to cook whatever to keep that alive, right? My dad opened up his first restaurant in 1981 during the biggest recession from in the past pre-2000s, right? So we've seen 3 recessions before we've seen what's going on now as business owners. So we know how to adapt. And there's a lot of people reaching out on the grassroots level, which is awesome. And I just think that if the people who are very active in it right now are going to come out stronger at the end of this thing.
All right. Adam, what you got?
That was actually, Nick, your last comment you made. That was something I was curious about. What are your thoughts on what this looks like coming out the other end?
The funny thing is, so it's going to be very interesting twofold, right? You got to look at Vegas as like the epicenter in a way, because 60% of our industry is service and hospitality, right? So when this whole thing went down on that Tuesday night, I have like 9 purveyors that deliver us foods, goods, and whatnot. So the crazy thing is, all of them went into freak out mode, right? And some of them, most of my high end stuff comes from shipped from LA, and they used to ship 5-6 days a week. Now they're only shipping 2 days a week because 80 to 90% of their business was from the Strip. So within 4 or 5 days, a lot of the people had to become creative. Here's what I think, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, Joe Rogan economic podcasts and this and that, and everybody's saying this is like a big reset, right? So reset in a way where it's like, y'all worked in the casinos before. I've never worked in the casinos. So it's like, for example, if you just say you go to, I don't know, we'll use a average casino on the Strip. It's $100 a night. But then you're paying $15 for parking a night, and that parking structure is already paid for. And then you're paying $40 a night for resort fees. And that $40, you get free internet. Well, I only pay $80. So then if you stay 3 nights, you're paying $120 of resort fees, $45 for parking, and then you're paying $18 to $22 for a cocktail when they buy it by the pallet, and that bottle of booze costs $25 or whatever. So the whole paradigm of everything is in regards to this whole thing, and in regards to distribution, overcharging people for these fees, or even cocktail prices. And I've never been in the union, but even the structure of the union, it's all going to change, because now we're in these times that are uncertain. One of my biggest suppliers did on the Strip, and he's down like huge. And he goes, Nick, just say things come back to normal in 2 months. I don't even know what normal is now, because certain, who knows, if in a casino there's 30 restaurants, maybe only 10 of them open up, right? So, or you get 20% occupancy, and it'll be probably another year till you see 100%. This whole industry, the service industry, literally, it's like when you fill up a bag of dirty soil of linen, and you flip it over and shake it all out, and there's like 1-2 pieces of linen stuck in the bag. That's what's happening right now. It's crazy.
So adapt and change is kind of what it sounds like, what you're saying. And it sounds like you're ready. You're kind of already doing that in a lot of ways.
I started doing it since day one of this thing.
So let me ask you this then too, like for you specifically, like what do you have planned to do differently coming out of this, if anything, and even if you want to share it?
Absolutely. Well, my father always taught me how to be innovative in this industry and, do things to what people like. Are there things that I learned from this that I'm going to change majority of my menu about? Of course. So a lot of people, they don't really know about Gaetanos, or they know about them, but they never dine with us, because before I answer your question, Adam, the thing is, there was a lot of noise back then, right? So we started here 18 years ago, but people say, oh, I won't go to Gaetano's because it's too far. It's in South Henderson. But now with all these businesses closed and me on social media constantly, there's less noise and my voice is being heard more, which is, a positive thing. And the thing to answer your question is, for example, on our menu, we have about 44 items on our menu, plus we do 8 specials a night. So this might make me be like, hey, listen, rather than having all these specials and all these items on our menu, let's consolidate things more. That's, the thing is, I have a degree in marketing and I'm really good at marketing, but the whole aspect of growing your business even more and making it more attractive is when you keep things simple. And my dad's philosophy was always keep things more difficult, have more items out there because more people are asking for them. We can do whatever. If we have the ingredients, we'll make you whatever you want to have to eat. But the problem is like, if I consolidate the menu, the specials, the cocktails, the wine, then things will be more simple. And I think in the long run, the industry is going to see that the ones who stayed in the game during this whole crisis, they're going to be consolidating things a lot more because I'll tell you the truth, I can't get fresh shellfish right now. There's certain meats and fish that I used to get like this, I can't get right now. They're flash freezing certain stuff, and I'm like, I'm not getting it because I know when you defrost it won't taste the same. So the whole mindset of being creative got to like a whole other level.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a big reset for you also. Like completely top to bottom.
No, I would probably say it's a reset, probably at like 40 to 50%.
Okay.
Not top to bottom, because I'm still offering a lot of dishes that I currently have. I'm offering a lot more than I should, but my customers expect that from me. I'm actually coming out with a new menu. I change my menu up about every 2 days. I'm coming out with a new menu tomorrow because Sundays and Mondays we typically do pizza. The interesting thing is, because I know Gene and I know Adam, you're currently a brand ambassador, and I know Gene was at one point. The interesting thing is now I have brand ambassadors coming out to me because I was in the newspaper last years ago petitioning about alcohol sales, beer and wine. So now people coming out to me that they never came out to me before because they know I could push their brands. There's certain brands I'm like not like they're good brands, but I'm not a huge fan of their product that are coming out to me out of the blue, which I think is a little weird. But when it comes to like being loyal, I'm all about loyalty. So
I like that.
No, that's a great answer. It's a great explanation of a lot of what seems like is going to happen. And so for you, doing it, living it, and being there every single day, that's some great insight for sure.
Right. And another thing that I noticed too, a lot of restaurant operators that have, big or semi-money invested in them, they just closed up right away and they're thinking about reopening or they're not going to reopen. Here's the thing. We all work in the hospitality business. This business is probably, besides being a coal miner, is probably the hardest work that there is. And the thing is, it's like, especially an owner and operator, the stress level is beyond belief. It's just really, really tough because it's like people say, oh, you must like it, you must drink wine and schmooze with people. Hey, I got 20 employees I got to feed and their kids and the delivery driver who's coming and his kids and then the warehouse driver who loads up the delivery truck, him and his wife and his kids. So it's like this whole tree of people that you got to keep employed. And with this situation, with things going down 80 to 90%, you look at all those people that I just said, like if I close down, delivery drivers are out of work and then the warehouse people are out of work. So it's like a lot of things running on your mind. That's why I'm keeping open. Trust me, I like to be closed to an extra day, but I'm not because I'm a little crazy and I like my employees to come in smiling and thanking me that they've got work.
Righteous.
Salute to that.
Salute to that.
So,
segue from the salute. So how are you keeping yourself together in your downtime? What are you doing?
So the crazy thing is this time of year is my favorite time of year. I love hiking and cycling, but unfortunately with working all these crazy hours, I can't really do that right now. So my wife works for Cirque du Soleil. She got laid off. So we've been spending way more time together during the day. I'm trying to get at least 7 to 8 hours of work because 7 to 8 hours of sleep because I'm literally putting 16 hours a day in. So I'm just trying to relax, be with my wife and my dogs and just chilling at home. If I'm not chilling at home, I literally got to drive around town to pick up goods for the restaurant because A, they're not delivering, or B, they only deliver certain days and I need it like if it's busy one night and I go, crap, I need goods for tomorrow night, I need to go somewhere and get it because the delivery schedule is only Tuesday and Friday and it's Wednesday or Thursday. So.
And Nick, you kind of alluded to it earlier on things that you're doing to stay open, but besides for running around town picking things up, like how does your day flow? Like what are you doing like as far as for to-go food and cocktails and things like that? Could you give us a rundown?
Sure. So what day? Okay. I don't even know what day it is. So
Right.
Let me give you a good example for Thursday, right? So Thursday I needed to pick up some to-go boxes and stuff and supplies from Restaurant Depot, right? So I went there at 9 in the morning. Then I went to the bank. And then I went to the restaurant around 1 o'clock and I batched about 150 cocktails for the weekend. So that took me an hour and a half to do. And then my wife came in and helped me vacuum seal it because that's what you need to do with City of Henderson. And then I worked till 9:15 last night, went home, worked on the menu, some parts of the menu and marketing for today or for Friday. And then I went to bed, woke up with the Charlie horse on my hamstring because I've been standing like 14 hours a day at 4 in the morning. So then I worked on some more marketing stuff, and then I went back to bed at 6:30, woke up at 8, and then I was grinding again. So there's certain things I do, like I'll go to Home Depot and pick up a couple things that I want to fix at the restaurant since, there's no one here during the day, but it's about every other day is pretty hectic.
I believe you. Hey, would you have any advice for any other small business owners out there that maybe have one or two restaurants or just their solo project?
Like, are they still open or they want to consider opening?
If they were más manos on either open or closing.
Okay, so if you're still open, it's hard to say because here's the thing. Okay. So here's the hard thing. There's several types of food that people love, right? They love Italian food, they like pizza, they like Mexican food, they like Chinese food, pop. Here's the thing, it depends what kind of food that you're serving, and you got to market that, right? Some people might not go to a Peruvian restaurant every week. They might go to one every 2 months. Who knows? I don't eat much Peruvian food, but that's what came to my mind. But the thing is, you got to figure out. This is what I told my mom, who when this all went down. I said, listen. I said, I don't care how much hours I put in. All I care is about breaking even. And we're doing, our sales are doing really good because I've been a lot on the social media and marketing and things like that. The thing is, if someone's thinking about getting into it, they're literally, they're pretty they're pretty late to the game, to be honest with you. There's a restaurant down the street from us who decided to start doing takeout. I don't know how I don't know what they're doing, but to figure out all the logistics with the purveyors and everything else, it took me literally almost 5 days to figure it all out and really plan. The whole thing about this whole thing is planning out 2, 3, 4 days ahead. It's not as easy as it sounds, because when you're open 7 days a week, you have 6 days worth of options of getting goods. Now you can't get goods. It's crazy. That's why a lot of these restaurants are doing market pop-ups, because they need to make that extra revenue, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
How prepared were you prior?
I would say I was pretty prepared, you know. I had you know, the good thing is with our restaurant, we're only open up for dinner. And then I had a meeting literally with everybody that night. I actually had a meeting 3 nights prior with all the employees, because we knew you know something's going to go down, right? It's not like, you know, it's the federal government's not going to say, okay, everything's shut down. You know, in the United States, every state acts as like their own country. So they're like, okay, this state said it, this state said it, this state said it, this state said it. Now Nevada says they're going to do it. And I literally had a meeting with everybody. And the 2 days before the actual shutdown, was it Tuesday, Saturday? So I had all the employees here on Saturday. I started crying. I'm like, this is driving me crazy. I can't sleep at night. But if we have to close the restaurant, we have to close the restaurant. But if we can keep it open, I'm going to guarantee everybody that I can at least give you mostly 4 or 5 days a week. And that's what I've done so far. I was prepared for it, because I was reading all the news and everything, and, you know, keeping up to date. The whole thing is, like I said before, I wasn't prepared for the logistical nightmare, but at the end of the day, you have to, when this uncertainty happens, you got to think 3-4 days prior, you know, which is crazy in our business, you know, because a lot of people enough capital to survive 2 weeks if they shut down, right? The whole thing when it comes to the restaurant business, a lot of people need to realize, if you want to open up your restaurant, you have to have enough capital to last you payroll and bills for 6 months. And a lot of people open up restaurants with 6 to 8 weeks of that. Well, guess what? If you're not getting any revenue in for 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to be closing down and closing shop for the next 10 to 14 days, you know? But I would say I was more than adequate prepared for this, because my family's been through 3 recessions, so.
Yeah.
Adam, what you got?
I got beer in a coffee mug, and I will say
Right.
that I am super happy. All of us are here right now, being able to spend some time. It is silly that I want to say silly, 'cause that's not the right word. It is completely a bummer that it has to be like this instead of face to face. A big part of our industry is human connection, and you can only do so much of that over video and audio remotely. So what I have is simply to say, like, I'm excited to see this be done. I'm excited to see Gaetano's be open up to the public again.
Yeah.
And I would love to sit at your bar with Gene and Rains and shoot the shit as soon as this is all like done. So that's what I have. So cheers, gentlemen, and at some point we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. So
thanks, Nick. We appreciate you.
One thing, yeah, absolutely. I know one thing I want to mention. I know you guys asked me a couple questions before, and I'm reading one of this, and I think it says best best way for us to prepare for a changed world for beverage. So before I answer that question, I know one of the questions is sort of giving my background. So my father opened up a Gaetano's in Calabasas, California in 1981. In 1993, he put me to work when I was 10 years old. He said, I always asked him for an allowance, and he goes, in a Sicilian accent, he goes, you think I'm going to pay you to pick up the doggy shit and make your bed? You come to the restaurante and I show you how to work and make the money. So, of course, my first thing was cleaning the toilets and peeling onions. So, and
Not at all, so I hope.
I worked at the restaurant for 26 years now. And the thing is, you know, I know how to do everything from dishwash, line cook, bartend, wait, maitre d', whatever you want, I can do, you know. And the thing is, do I see a changed world with beverages? I sort of do, you know. As we can attest, the past 2 decades with beverages have gotten pretty weird. You know, there's so many different, you know, Adam works at Golden Tiki. There's so many different rums out there. There's so many different bourbons and vodkas and whiskeys and whatever. And then now everything's going to BTGs, you know, beverage to goes. But like 95% of the beverage to goes taste like shit. So I've seen more people come up for drop out or pickup with BTGs in their car cracked open. I'm like, you're drinking with an open container, really? So
No, man, it's tripping.
but the crazy thing is, I think the BTG stuff is smart, but I think a lot of the quality is shit. Who knows with all this on in the future? But I think there needs to be better BTG products out there. In regards to the craft movement, I think the craft movement is great, but I think a lot of people overcomplicate it. And I spoke to Adam about it when he was at my restaurant, about Adam O'Donnell, about 4 weeks ago. You know, all my cocktails that I make don't have any fillers in it. You know, it's either a syrup, it's really good quality liquor. There's no smoke this or weird funky syrup in it. It's just really simple cocktails that taste good that you can make at home. Do I see the industry changing as a whole when it comes to people dining out? Short term, here's the thing. If they have the money to spend money to go out, I don't see an issue with it. Long term, if these viruses keep popping up, I see that there could be an issue with dining out. But as of right now, I don't see there's an issue at all.
So you made a comment about something in the beverage industry or the craft cocktail movement. How about in terms of what do you see changing, if anything, in the hospitality industry?
I just think the hospitality industry needs to go back to basics, right? I'm not talking about in regards to other cities. I'm talking about Las Vegas in general, right? So, for example, you go to Golden Tiki, you go to Herbs and Rye, you get someone who smiles at you, cares about the cocktail that they're making, and explains it to you. You come to Gaetano's, we're passionate about our food. We explain it to you. Comes out fresh, nice, hot. Problem is, the bigger part of hospitality in our town, the casinos, have relied on conventioneers for so many years as their money-making machine, which, of course, they bring in the most people. They bring in the most money that spends money. But the problem is, and I know this was different for you, Adam, Rains, when you worked at Carnivino, because you'd always get repeat customers every year that go to these certain conventions. You knew their name. They would come here during off-convention times just to see you. But the problem is, a lot of times these hospitality got to a point where it's like you take a ticket from the meat counter at the grocery store, you pull it, and that's how they treated you. You know, they're like, okay, here's a ticket, sit down. I'm gonna get my union pay. I'll make X amount of dollars guaranteed every night. I won't give service. I'm just doing what I need to do, right?
Bare
And the
minimum.
problem is bare minimum. And the problem is that's not what hospitality is about. Hospitality is about giving them an experience where they go back to, I don't know, Colorado, where they're from, and they talk to 10 of their friends about that experience, and just say 2 of those friends are going to Vegas in the next 6 months, and then they go to see Adam at Carnivino or Nick at Gaetano's. You know, that's the thing about hospitality.
All right, Nick. I mean, what you're saying is completely fair. And going back to basics, and I think anywhere that all of us have ever worked, that's been uttered at some point by somebody. So how is this different?
Right.
Well, you gotta excuse
think,
Adam O'Donnell. You gotta excuse Adam O'Donnell. He was a bare minimum bartender at the pub.
No, I wasn't.
He was our shop steward too.
That's what
That's
they call
great.
him. Bare
Full
minimum
disclosure, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Like,
Should have saved my job.
oh
there.
man,
If you want the truth,
like
if you want the truth, Gordon Ramsay wanted to rename it Adam O'Donnell's Pub because I was such an integral part to that.
Best bartender in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
So to answer to answer your question, I think this whole reset thing is that I mentioned before in regards to like resort fees or just things like that. It needs to change. The crazy thing is there's probably like 4 people who know about this, but when my father was alive, him and I would always butt heads and things like that. And I applied for a beverage director executive position, food and beverage director position with a large casino company here in town. I didn't get it, but I knew a lot of people in the organization who got me to the right interviews and whatnot. I didn't get it because at the end of the day, I don't need, people calling me out from the union, or I don't need someone above me who doesn't know what the hell they're doing to tell me I can't do this or I'm doing it wrong. That's one thing I love about my restaurant. I could do what I want. I do a lot of like specialized events and things like that. That's going to change from this. I don't know, like my buddy Spencer, who used to be an executive chef at Wolfgang Puck, and now he's in sales at Chef's Warehouse, which is a large distribution company for goods. He says, Nick, I don't know what's going to go on next month. I don't know what's going to go on in 6 months. I don't know what's going to go on a year. We got to take this thing literally week by week. But in regards to the reset, I think what's going to happen is if you are innovative, you have a marketing mindset, if you are someone who wants to make a difference in the culinary world and doesn't have a restaurant right now, this is the best opportunity for you to get into your own business with either yourself or with some partners. Because the thing is, as sad as it sounds, just say 60% of the restaurants go out of business or bars. Well, guess what? You don't need to buy new equipment. You don't need to buy, you could take over their space and reinvent it. The whole thing is it's all about location and volume of people coming in. But the thing is, I truly think with this going on, there's going to be some really innovative things going on with the industry in regards to people coming in that either haven't been in or people coming in that have either been in but reinventing themselves to a point where it's just going to blow things up.
Adam, that's good for you, bro. You can do Adam O'Donnell's Irish falafels. You could do that.
Gene,
You don't like falafels?
I thought we were going back to basics.
I don't mind. Wait, I don't mind falafels. Hey, Gene, I don't mind falafels, but when I was in Amsterdam, I had the worst breakfast in my life, and it was at an Irish pub, so I don't think that's going to work.
The Irish don't. The Irish aren't known for food. Come on.
In Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have sauce. They have water.
We're known.
Like cooking water.
We're known for. Yeah, the Irish are known for giving you some hugs and giving you some drinks and then punching you in the face.
Yeah.
That's what we're known for.
There you go. There you go.
Just
There's sauces with potatoes, right?
just do that too.
That sounded mildly racist, but I liked it.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
but what are
some
you
good
guys?
stuff.
What are your guys' thoughts on it in regards to like reinventing, like what this whole thing?
Well, I think you hit it on the nail. You know, you hit it on the head right there. It's like that there's going to be a lot of opportunity if you have a little capital, if you have some investors. Like there are going to be some cool things that come out of it on that end. And it'll, like you were also saying earlier, how maybe you should cut down the menu a little bit and make it a little bit more simple, back to basics. And I mean, I think it's going to definitely trim the fat. Some of that's going to be ugly for a lot of people, but in general, that's what's going to happen, is that if we can simplify things and get back to the basics of hospitality and just be kind of grateful for that person across from you in the bar, for that customer. Every single customer always matters, and I'm sure all four of us feel that same way. But I'm thinking now that our brothers and sisters out there who may have been used to just having that onslaught of people coming and going, conventions, and forgetting about that, I think they're going to remember it, because we need those people, and our industry needs those people, our town needs those people. So I'm hoping our town gets back to that, you know.
Right.
That would be nice. I think that there's there are going to be a lot of people coming to bars and restaurants that are not going to want to hear from your server and from their bartender about how bad they had it, or hear them, being anything less than a gracious host. And so the people that were able to perhaps skate, or the people that were in this job for reasons other than they wanted to offer some hospitality, it'll be pretty apparent pretty quick. So what this looks like on the other end, it's going to be rough. And it's going to be even more rough for those people that didn't have the right intentions going into it. So, Nick, I think everything you said was pretty spot on, or it makes sense, and I can definitely, I can understand, your train of thought for sure. But it's, everybody has a lot of time to do soul searching, or to have that moment of, what do I actually want to do with my life, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. And wait, something. I'll let Gene talk in a minute, but something funny I want to say might be a little controversial, but we've all been in this business long enough, especially in this town, and with everything shut down, casinos, taverns, whatever, this might be a good thing to get. There's a lot of hospitality people out there that are just like degenerate gamblers that are just, they have good intentions, but the problem is their mood swings so much, This might be a good thing for them to like get back on track, or just leave town,
Right. Go up north.
Could be.
Go up north.
You know what? I like what everybody said tonight. I think that was awesome. Everybody's very optimistic. Me, on the other hand, I'm more a little realistic about what I believe is going to happen. I think people have short memories. If it doesn't happen to them, then it didn't happen at all. And that's a big fear of mine, and I really hope that doesn't come to fruition. But I do see people having a short memory about this.
Yep.
Because you think of it, I didn't cause it. I can't prevent it. Let's go party in Vegas. And if that's the case, Bring your ass.
Hey, everybody has to go to Crazy Horse, right?
All roads lead there. I think that's all roads lead to Crazy Horse.
Phenomenal tacos.
Too funny.
Yes.
Listen, if Treasures
But I
has the
think,
best bacon
I think in the
carbonara, I
long
would tell
run
you.
with the food and beverage community, we're pretty strong here. Like I said before, it's all about the strongest. The strongest are going to survive. The people who are in it right now. Oh, sorry, I lost connection.
What happened there?
I guess we lost Gene. You
Oh
hear?
no!
What?
No, he's
What?
just dark complected.
What? Did I go somewhere?
Are
I
we
was right here.
are we only two? Okay. There we go.
Testing.
I don't know what
Okay,
happened.
so I got one more piece of advice for everybody. So I think the people who are in the game right now, these people and the people who are in the game right now are going to be the ones that are going to be even stronger when this thing's all over. That's my personal opinion.
Makes sense.
Right on. Right on.
Well, awesome.
Well, on that note, Nick, thanks, man. We appreciate you tonight. I want to say thank
You're
you for doing
welcome.
everything that you're doing right now, man. That's awesome. I do appreciate you,
Absolutely.
man. I think we all do.
One thing I want to mention too, because like the hospitality industry, I think Tobin Ellis is doing something in regards to the relief fund, North. Also with the USBG, I'm offering 10 free meals a week with the USBG.
Oh, wow.
I always put my menu and my cell phone number up on there so people can text me. So I'm trying to do some stuff. I'm seeing how this week works. I'm going to try to do some more community outreach. It's just with my schedule, it's just tough. I'm getting emails and contacted constantly by people doing podcasts like this, and they prioritize my business first before I do that.
Wish I would have caught all that.
Amen.
Awesome. Well,
Right on.
when this shit's all over, we got to drink some Amaro and have a good time.
Absolutely.
We'll be there, man. Tomorrow, life.
Agreed.
God
Yeah,
bless, bro.
man. Thank
Nick,
you.
thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, buddy.
My pleasure. And
Get 'em safe.
we'll get together soon.
Awesome.
For sure.
Yes.
Good job, brother.
All right.
All right.
That was an hour. Perfect hour.